The J. Michaels Show.
Welcome to the show. Our guest today is Leith Dougherty, and she has a band, she has a book, she has a whole lot of things we're going to talk about. So let's get into it now and say hello to Dawn. Hi, Dawn. How you doing?
Hi, Michael. I'm so happy to be here. It's so nice to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, first of all, let's talk about your band, because we interview musicians and authors, actors, everything here. And I love it when we can talk to somebody who's in a band or has a band. So tell me about Let's Sabbath.
Wow, that's one of my favorite subjects to talk about right now, is anything involving Black Sabbath. So we are in a Black Sabbath cover band. I call it a tribute band just because I like saying tribute band. And I sing. I'm an Aussie. And I have a co-Aussie as well. So there's two of us that sing, and we trade off. He sings a little bit. I sing a little bit. Sometimes we co-sing. His name's Alex. And we called it Let's Sabbath because originally when we formed the band, our idea was to have multiple people kind of join and sing some songs. But it kind of very quickly became just the two of us singing. That's how it worked out. And I think it kind of gelled the way it was supposed to be. And my band is just some of my very favorite friends and my very favorite people in the world. And we're good. We're really good. And I love this music, and we have the best time playing. And sometimes we'll be at rehearsals and we'll just sit there and start laughing with each other and kind of looking at each other going, we're literally in a basement living our like 15-year-old dreams right now, playing Black Sabbath music. It's so much fun, Jay. It's just really, really fun.
Wow. So do you only do Black Sabbath music, or do you do other songs as well?
My band only does Black Sabbath. Yeah, that's all we do. And we are actually working on learning more songs. We would like to eventually try to do shows where we do like an album at a time. So we're working on learning. That's a lot of songs to learn. There's a lot of albums, but we would love to be able to do that sometime. Come to see us sometime, and it'll just be us performing the entire album, Black Sabbath, the debut album, or the entire album of Master of Reality. That's kind of what we're looking forward to doing. We're hoping to incorporate some Dio, Black Sabbath into the mix as well at some point. So we're just having fun, though. It's just all about the fun. Just have a great time.
Do you do like costumes and things too? And Black Sabbath doesn't have a female singer, so how does that work out?
No, I sing in Ozzy's key, so I'm able to sing Ozzy. And it's just a good time, and everybody kind of digs it because it's not what they expect. So I think they get very surprised. Last February, actually, it's literally about exactly a year ago, there's something they do in Raleigh every year at King's downtown. It's called The Great Cover-Up. And bands go there every year to play, to do cover songs. So they are a band doing another band at the Cover-Up, and nobody ever knows who it's going to be until they show up on stage. So obviously we did Black Sabbath as Let's Sabbath last year, and nobody expected to see me out there. They expected to see Alex, but not me. And everybody was trying in the back room, trying to figure out who we were, because we weren't telling. You can't really tell people. Like, you can figure it out, but they had no idea. So it was a good time.
Wow.
But my bandmates, we dress up, we do rock out. My bandmate Alex, he wears a brown wig, and we have fun. We have amazing amounts of fun.
But you've also been in other bands, haven't you?
I have.
Tell me about
I was in
them.
a couple Americana style bands before this one. My last band I was in was called Crows Fly. I really enjoyed that band. I enjoyed that music, and I had a chance to write songs, which I still kind of do. So I have songs that I have written that really are kind of sitting here, not being played by anyone, because I don't play guitar or piano, unfortunately. So my bandmates in Crow's Fly were really great about being able to work out what I was singing and what I wrote and turning it into beautiful songs. And I really miss doing that. That was a good time. But bands come and goes, and that one came and went. And I'll probably do something like that again, I hope. I love all music, most music anyway. I'll say most. So
Yeah, well, you also play Native American flute. Your husband makes Native American flutes, and we have that in common because so do I. So, did you play your flute in these Americana bands?
I did. And well, let's backtrack a little bit for a second. That's how I know you,
Mm-hmm.
Michael, through the Native Flute community, which has been, as you know, an incredible community, worldwide community of wonderful people. And we know a lot of really, really fantastic people through this community of folks. And
Oh yeah.
I'm always grateful for them. And Ed Dougherty's my husband, and our business is Tree of Life Designs. And he's a pretty well-known flute maker at this point in the genre, so I'm very proud of him. And I do play his flutes in my Americana bands, and I play a flute in my Black Sabbath band as well, believe it or not. There's
Wow.
a flute. I play one of his flutes, key of E minor, on a song called Planet Caravan. And if you know anything about Sabbath's music, you might know that song. It's a really mellow, really beautiful, kind of hippy dippy song, but it's a gorgeous song. And I do play a flute in that song, and it blows people's minds because that's not something most people are familiar with
Mm-hmm.
hearing or seeing. And when that flute comes out, they're like, "What is that?"
What is she
But it
playing? A
sounds amazing.
stick?
What?
They look like sticks, because people will say, "Well, what are you playing? A stick there?" But they're
Paper
very well
holes.
crafted instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love playing flute. I don't play nearly as often as I want to at this point. I am playing that with my band, but it's just for one song. But I play all the sound clips for the flutes that Ed makes, and we put on the website. So if you hear sound clips from Tree of Life Designs, that's me playing. So when I play the sound clips, I don't really play songs. I'm just kind of trying to showcase the scale and how the flute sounds. But I do try to work up a little improv song in there as I'm doing it too. So it
Yeah.
does give me a little bit of practice.
Well, you said hippy dippy, and honestly, we're kind of old hippies ourselves. You are also a Reiki master, right?
I am, yes. I'm a Reiki master teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing healing work. I love it. I wish I could do more of it. But I love to teach. That's my favorite thing to do. So I really I want to make people Reiki practitioners. I want to teach them how to do it. Everybody can do it. Everybody can do Reiki. You just need to be trained how to do it. It's easy, it's wonderful, and it will be life-changing. And I'm kind of an evangelist about Reiki. I love it. I adore it. And Reiki's really affected my life in very, very wonderful and positive ways. And I've met some of my really wonderful friends through Reiki as well, some people that I'm very close to at this point. And it's just, again, another community of people that I'm really grateful to be a part of.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you also you mentioned that, and you're an ordained priest in the order of. I can't pronounce it, so I'm going to let you. What kind of priest are you?
Order of Melchizedek.
Melchizedek. Okay,
Yes.
and explain what that is.
So the Order of Melchizedek is a non-denominational service-based organization.
Mm-hmm.
It is a church. Technically, it's a physical church in New York, and the leader of the organization, we don't really like to call it a church because it's that way for for tax purposes as well as licensing purposes. But
Right.
we are all priests. It doesn't matter what gender. It's always been that way. If you're ordained, you can call yourself whatever you want to, but we are technically priests. I am a priest. And it's just it's I have the ability to marry folks or
Oh, wow.
officiate on any kind of officiating if you need me to officiate. Legal in all 50 states all over the world. I because I am ordained clergy. So I would like to do more with that as well. I would love to marry folks as well. That would be great fun for me. That would be very heartwarming and lovely for me to be able to do. So I'm hoping to do more with that at some point.
Yeah. So how old is this church?
They have been the church itself is called the Sanctuary of the Beloved. And I believe Dan has been doing ordinations since the early 80s, but don't quote me on that. There is a website people can find, Sanctuary of the Beloved and Ordo of Melchizedek. If you guys Google those, you'll be able to find them and find out more about those organizations. But we're worldwide. There are people all over the world, from everyone from atheists to Christians to pagans and witches, and everybody in between. There are many of us, and we serve. It's a service organization.
Right, right. Well, on top of being a musician and a priest, you are also a writer, and you've written articles for magazines as well as you've written a book. So now I'd like to shift gears and get you to talk a little about your book and your writing.
Sure. Well, my book is called, I'm going to hold up the cover if you can see it there. There it is. Is it backwards? I don't know. My book is Sage Advice. It's called Sage Advice, A Practical Guide to Energetic Smoke Cleansing and House Blessings. I wrote Sage Advice for our business, for our website, because I'm an incense maker and I make smudge blends. I sell incense accessories and things like that. And I got a lot of questions from a lot of customers over time. A lot of them were the same questions, like, what is this? How does it work? What do I do? How do I do this? Those sorts of things. So I wrote a very long FAQ sheet about it because I got a lot of the same questions. So I would just give them that sheet. And I realized I could expand on that a lot more than just this FAQ sheet. So I wrote myself an ebook to put on the site that people could download and buy and download. And it was a pretty in-depth for an ebook, I thought. But I just decided, it's been 10 years since I wrote that. And it's been many years gone by, and we had to move, and there's been a lot of things going on with our life in between there. So it just sort of sat there, and people would buy it and download it. And I've been wanting to edit it and submit it to publishers for quite a while now. So last year, I just finally said, I'm just going to do this and see where it goes. And I did. Excuse me. And I wasn't sure what to expect. I've never submitted anything to the publishing world before. So this is a very new thing for me. There's a lot of learning curve involved in that. But Moon Books picked me up. They were very interested in it. They are an imprint of Collective Ink. And Moon Books is the imprint that they publish their pagan and occult and new age kind of things under that imprint. And my Sage Advice book is a pagan portals book. So people listening might be familiar with those books. There's a lot of them. And it's a series they have, and they're smaller books, but there's a lot of information in them. And I'm very proud to be a Pagan Portals book at this time, because I have a few Pagan Portals books, and I was very grateful when they decided they wanted to pick that up. So I'm in very good company, and there's a lot of, if you're into the occult world at all, or witchcraft world, you might know some of the names of some of the authors in the Pagan Portal series of books. So I'm in very illustrious company, and I'm happy to say it was a long time coming, but I decided to write a whole lot more. So I ended up writing about 25,000 more words than I had to really round out the book and fill it out. And I'm very pleased with how it turned out.
Wow. You know, you have that store, and you sell incense. You make up the incense for it. You also sell other things. Like I have that I bought from your store, gosh, I don't know how many years ago, but it's an incense bowl, and it's made from a shell, and it has this nice wooden stand that it sits on, and it's in my living room. I mean, I literally light sage and incense and stuff and put it in that bowl and burn it. So you have some very nice products. I'd like you to talk about your store a little bit and what all you offer there and how people can find it.
Sure, yes. Thanks. Our store is treeoflifedesigns.com. You can find us there. That is where Ed sells his flutes that he makes. So first and foremost, it originally is his flute website. And then, of course, I came into the picture and adopted it and put all my stuff on there, too. So he sells his flutes there, and I make flute wax and flute oil for the flutes. We sell flute bags that a friend of ours in Michigan makes. They're great. The things that I do are, I have about, let me think for a minute, 8 or 9 incense blends, I might be counting wrong, that I created for this shop. And as well as I sell sage bundles, Palo Santo sticks, and the shells and stands like you have. I sell those. I sell some soapstone carved bowls that we buy in. Ed makes incense bowls as well from wood in his shop. So he turns wood bowls as well and put clay saucers in them to burn in as well. So we do make our own bowls as well. And they're all one of a kind, handmade, other than the clay saucer, of course, which we have to buy. But and those are great. Those are really beautiful to look at, and I love them. And I make feather fans for waving the incense smoke. Ed makes the handles for those, and I create the feather combinations for those. I really enjoy doing that. Oh, what else do we do? There's more things coming. I'm in the process of making moon spoons.
Oh.
So I'm probably going to be selling some of those on there. I'm making those out of polymer clay.
What is a moon spoon?
So moon spoon is my little witchy self trying to incorporate that into the site, but I decided I wanted to make them. They are fun little spoons you can charge in the moonlight and put on your window frame to catch moonlight, and you can put little objects in them depending on what you want to attract at any given time. So if you wanted to, say you wanted to do a little money spell with your moon spoon, you would charge it up in the moonlight, take it outside and scoop moonlight into it, put it on your windowsill, and place little things in it that might attract money to you. Maybe you have a little chunk of pyrite. You can put a little piece of a money, little bill in there, a bay leaf, maybe an orange peel, stuff like that, to help attract abundance to you. You can do love things. You can do protection. It's just a fun little, I'm going to show you. Would you like to see?
Sure. Yeah, we would love to.
Give me one. Let me see. I have one upstairs. My other ones are downstairs, unfortunately, but here's one of them. I don't know how well you can see this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So this would sit on your window frame.
Now, do you light it, or is there... No, it's not like a candle.
No, it's not a candle. You just put your little objects here in the bowl, your little bits and bobs of energetically corresponding things, depending on what you want to attract. And I put selenite, which is a moon crystal, as well as moonstone in the bowl. And it's just a little bowl just for your window frame. You put little teeny tiny things in there to attract things to you.
And you said you take it and scoop moonlight with it outside?
Yep. You would take it outside when the moon is full, and you like scoop moonlight into it, say a little mantra if you want to, bring it back inside, put your little objects in it, and put it on your windowsill.
That is a wonderful, beautiful idea. And is this something you came up with, or do these things exist in the world out there?
They exist a little bit. I got inspired by a video I saw by a lady named Vi Hart, who I would say kind of invented the idea, but really there's ideas like that around in the world anyway. So she probably thought about it from something else that she saw. And I know a few people make those, and she gives her blessing to please make them, please do this magic, do this work. It's just fun. So I did, and I just made my own the way I want them. And it's just been fun. I just started doing that. So we'll see how long that lasts before I find another little something to get obsessed with to make. I'm
Yeah.
having a lot of fun with those, though. Those are just fun. I haven't sold any yet, but hopefully I will. I think I'm just going to give half of them away.
Do you also sell like crystals and necklaces and things like that with crystals?
No, I don't do those.
You don't do
Mm-mm.
crystals?
No, I have a lot. I have a whole cabinet full. I have crystals all over my house, but I don't sell them.
Ah. Well, we're still exploring all the things that you do. And there is one other thing that I wanted to mention, and I want you to talk about it because it's something that I'd love to go to a festival and see someone do, and that's belly dancing. And you do that
Oh,
too.
yes, if you can call it that. I'm working on one right now. I am in a troupe called Shimmy Mob. The
Mm-hmm.
Shimmy Mobbers are it's a worldwide flash mob group.
Ah,
And we have chapters all around the world in various cities around the world. And somewhere around Waco, there's probably a Shimmy Mob chapter. And folks of all genders and ages can join it and learn a dance. And the dance is fairly easy to learn because we want people to join it. And it literally is a flash mob. Like we will show up with we have t-shirts
mm-hmm.
that say who we are. And then we have our hip scarves and our skirts. And we do a dance every year to raise money and awareness for domestic abuse situations and local shelters.
Uh-huh.
So that's the purpose of Shimmy Mob. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the 15th anniversary of them. That's how long they've been doing it.
Is it difficult to learn to shimmy?
No, it's
No.
not difficult at all. No, people think so. They're like, oh, I can't do that. And I thought that too when I joined. I started belly dancing about 2016, I think. And I have a lot of back problems
Mm-hmm.
and back pain. And I wanted to do it to get some exercise and strengthen my core.
Right.
So I was the same way. I'm like, oh, I'll just do like some basic stuff. Maybe it'll try to get me in better shape. Well, I ended up being like, this is way better than I thought. It's fantastic exercise. And I was actually good at it. So I have a few costumes and I was planning on doing some more events and more dancing. And then COVID happened.
Right.
um, and then I found out I have arthritis in one of my feet.
Oh.
And I do have some joint issues and things like that. So my dancing has been a lot more limited than I had hoped. But the Shimmy Mob thing is a once a year. Well, actually, it's a twice a year thing because we do another one in the fall that I can actually handle. It's not too terribly difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever play your flute when you do the belly dancing?
No.
No.
No, if I did that, I would probably have some sort of mishap, I'm sure. That would be not so easy, I think.
Yeah, I could just see you playing your flute and you got a basket and a cobra comes up out of it or something like that. That would be hilarious.
I wish I could dance to somebody that was doing that. That would be fun. But no, I don't do that. So yeah, my dancing's somewhat limited, but I do enjoy it when I do the Shimmy Mob events. That's very meaningful for me.
Musician, you're a dancer, you're a writer, but you've also been in a movie. Tell me about your movie acting experience.
So I was in a movie. When was that? 2009, I believe. And I'm trying to remember, it was my coworker came to work one day, said he found out about this zombie movie they were having casting calls for. And he's like, you want to be in a zombie movie? We should all go be in a zombie movie. And I'm like, of course I want to be in a zombie movie.
Of course.
So the movie's called Devil's Crossing, a zombie Western.
Uh-huh.
And when they got distribution, they changed it to Cowboys versus Zombies, which if you looked for that, that's the one you will find.
Uh-huh.
They actually sold that in Walmart. It's been on streaming, I think, before. I actually have both copies with each title in them. And so we went to this town out west of here, where I live in North Carolina, called Love Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little cowboy town. A guy founded the town back in the 70s because he grew up with cowboy movies and he wanted a cowboy town. He wanted to own a cowboy town, so he made one.
Uh-huh.
It's really cool. They've filmed other things there. I know they've had some concerts there. The streets are just like a cowboy town. They're dirt streets with the wooden sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
And people who live around there ride horses into town. You can't drive your car in there.
Uh-huh.
So you see hitching posts, and there's a saloon there, and people come in after hitching up their horses and with their hats on and get beers. It's wild. So it was really wild filming a zombie movie in that place because some of the locals were around. And so we were all zombied out, and there's people standing there with cowboy hats on.
Kind of crazy.
It was fun, but it was hard. It was freezing cold. For North Carolina, it was cold. It was in the teens,
Uh-huh.
the nights that I filmed. So we were freezing our tukuses off, but it was so well worth it. It was so worth it.
So were you dressed up as a zombie, or did you have a different role in this?
No, I was a zombie.
Ah,
I was a zombie. I was wearing a motorcycle jacket. It was when I had red hair. So if somebody happens to come across that movie and you see a zombie with wild red hair, that's me.
wow.
I had a death scene. I was a featured zombie. I had a death scene. So you can see me in that one scene, but they cut my actual death out, which really bums me out because it was hard. Because I had to fall. I had to be shot and then fall backwards onto the dirt street. Like 6 or 7 times I had to do that, and I bonked my head really good at one point. So I was like, this scene better be in this movie after all that hard work, but it wasn't. But you can see me in the scene, just not dying, unfortunately.
Have you thought about being in other productions, other movies, and maybe having lines to read and being an actor?
I would love to. I have a friend, I actually have a couple friends now from that movie who are still my friends on Facebook. And one of them, David Lowe, actually came to my house before. It's funny that people you meet years later and you're still friends with, and we still hang out. And he's one of my original friends on Facebook, this guy. He's a really fun guy. So I appreciate that people, he does that for a living. He's an actor. He was in The Patriot, and he was in Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Talladega Nights, and he was in The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Huh.
So he's early on, he's like, he would send me casting call stuff, but after being in the zombie movie, I'm just going to say it's not really my forte. If I could show up to a place and do my lines and stuff and not sit around for 10 hours straight and not do anything, I probably would.
Mm-hmm.
But I found out about being in movies, especially as an extra, that's a lot of sitting around and waiting, and I get really antsy and fidgety, and I'm not a good waiter arounder. So yes, I would love to do more acting. I think maybe on the local level, though, I thought about trying to join another theater group. I'm actually trying to start a troupe here with all our friends, because all our friends are with us in many productions that we do. My whole band is also in Rocky Horror Picture Show that we do together, as well as our Christmas variety show that we do together. So we're going to try to have eventually maybe a unified troupe and do some other shows as well. But these are musical shows that we do. So,
oh, wow. And, well, you also have written a horror book, right? Have you published yet?
No, I wrote a short story. I wanted to get into writing some short stories, so I still have this story, and I need to wrap it up and finish it up so I can submit it to something. I'm not really sure where. It needs to be some sort of horror anthology, but it's just silly, and it was fun, and I enjoyed writing it. I'd like to do more of that. I really enjoy writing. I used to write garden articles.
Mm-hmm.
I was garden article writer. I submitted to some regional magazines, one of them Carolina Gardener I was in, and also this magazine called Boom Magazine, and I would submit regular articles for them as well. When I worked at the garden center, I worked at a garden center for a number of years, almost 12 years.
You were a florist, right? You were
I was a florist
florist.
also before that. Yeah, I've done lots of things. I was a medical transcriptionist once also. So I feel like I should be doing something really specific, but I just do lots of unspecific things, I guess. Um, but the writing, I enjoy that very much, and I would like to do more of that
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Well, you also were a manager of a racetrack.
Yeah, that was many years ago. With an ex, he owned it, and I managed that for a few years. After my full-time job, I did that. That was almost like a full-time job, honestly. That was a lot. It was a lot. I don't know if I could do it now. I was a little younger back then, so I had a lot more energy, but I'm not energy for that anymore. But I managed that racetrack. I was a racetrack manager. Did the website, sang the national anthem every race. I helped throw the flags.
Uh-huh.
I did the sign-ups. I did the payouts. Occasionally, I would sit in the scoring tower and do scoring. Put down riots. Sometimes we'd have riots in the pits, so I had to deal with that.
Oh, wow.
It was a trip, man. That was a trip. That's not something I don't think I have the capacity to deal with at this time, but yeah.
Is it
Some,
unusual being, you mentioned that you do a Christmas show, and is it unusual being a pagan and doing a Christmas show?
Not at all. Nope, I love it. I love Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I have another friend who's also my Reiki student, but she's a dark and spooky witch too.
Mm-hmm.
But Christmas is her favorite holiday, besides Halloween, of course, and Samhain. She's a Christmas gal. She will decorate for Christmas right after Halloween, and she has trees all around inside her house. And we love Christmas. Christmas is fun. I call it Yule a lot, but it's still Christmas because that's what we grew up with. Christmas is very pagan.
Yeah.
Christmas, the only thing Christian about Christmas really is just the day it's on, and of course, Jesus' birth.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else about Christmas is just joy and fun and presents and twinkly lights and happiness.
Yeah.
So
Originally, it was a pagan holiday, right?
that's what
Yeah.
Yule celebrations. I that's my more my spiritual observances would revolve around Yule, which for me, of course, starts on the winter solstice.
Mm-hmm.
But Christmas time itself is, I love it. And I love that we sing secular songs too.
Right.
So we're not up there singing what you would hear in church
Right.
or on Christian rock stations or something like that. This last Christmas show, I sang the Christmas Vacation theme song from the movie.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we sang all kinds of, we sang The Grinch, we sang Father Christmas by the Kinks.
Yeah.
We sang the Waitress's Christmas wrapping song. It's just, we have a joyful time. So no, it's not a consideration at all. It's just everybody in our troupe is from many, many spiritual backgrounds, and we all have a blast doing that show.
Yeah, it's just
And
bringing everybody together. The way
yeah,
Native American flute festivals are, I mean, you get people from all walks of life. Do you still do festivals and go and sell flutes there?
we don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. We we're looking more into more local ones now, and we did do a local one last September, which was amazing. And we hope to keep doing it every year as long as he has them. It was called the Honeybee Hemp Fest, and it's on a hemp farm
Mm-hmm.
out in near Winston-Salem area of the world here in North Carolina. It was glorious. They had the best music. It was kind of reggae themed, the
Mm-hmm.
whole show, but they had musicians from Asheville and the surrounding area, and it was a great crowd. Lots of folks like us just having a great time, and we loved doing that one so much. That was great. That we had a joyful time. It wasn't terribly far to go to. It wasn't like traveling, as you know, like we used to travel to Florida for these. We used to travel to Iowa
Yeah, you
and
did.
Wisconsin, to Maryland. We've traveled, and it's just a lot. And with everything going on now, and it's just not as lucrative as we would like it to be for the amount of. It's a lot of cost
Yeah,
involved for us to travel like that.
the effort. Yeah. But did you like traveling? Did you like going to all these different towns?
Oh, I loved it. We loved it. We if we could do more of that, we would. It's just also we're getting older and there's a lot of energy towards it. But we had a blast while we were doing them. And of course, John Norris. We would
Yeah.
travel to most of these things with John, and John's a great guy to travel with. He's fun.
Yeah.
And we have fun stories about traveling back and forth through Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home of the Mothman. We've stopped there many, many times, having fun in Point Pleasant. We just have fun stories and lots of memories and lots of photos, and got to see a lot of they're fun because you get to see a lot of friends that you don't normally see
Right.
other than online.
Yeah. Well,
Just like
Yeah.
got to see you at one of these and hang out with you and have supper with you and record a ridiculous video on the dock. Remember doing that?
I remember that we did it. I don't remember the video though. What did we do?
We decided after a couple of rum hurricanes to go out onto the dock at this restaurant on the water. And there's like lone streetlights over the dock. And somebody decided that reminded them of the Bohemian Rhapsody music video.
Uh-huh.
The lighting. So do you remember it now?
I remember that we did some crazy stuff. Yeah. In fact, I've got a photo of all of us under those lights. I'll have to post that sometime.
Please post it. Just don't post the video because it's as bad as you think it would be. If you're listening to this, don't listen to it. It was pretty bad. The picture's really funny though.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff we would just get up to. And at INAFA, when it was INAFA, before it was World Flute Society, we got to hang out for a really long time with our Carlos Nakai, eat some pizza and have fun with him and Ken Light. We have lots of really interesting experiences. Yeah. I kind of miss traveling. I miss doing that traveling.
Right. Yeah, I miss that we saw a lot more friends then. I moved to Waco from Mississippi, and I'm further away from all of these festivals, so I can't get to them now. But your website, you sell all the flutes, all the stuff on that website. Is that lucrative for you?
It is. Yeah, we like to think so. We would, Ed's only one person, so he can't really mass produce them. He makes them one at a time, which is the way he likes to make them. And he has a lot of custom orders too. So if you might see 2 or 3 or 5 flutes on there, he's probably working on 2 or 3 or 4 custom flutes at the same time in the shop. So yeah, we do pretty well considering. Flute festivals are hard though, because he has to make, 30 or 40 flutes at a time just to bring to the festival. And, that's a lot for one guy. So.
Yeah. Johnny Lipford has created workshops and a studio, and he bought the organ store. So, when I look at somebody in the native flute community and I look at you guys and him, and apparently y'all are able to really make it work, and do something with it. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud to see that you're doing that.
Yeah, thanks. Johnny is amazing.
Yeah.
Johnny Lipford blows our minds. I'm so proud to know him and to be his friend. He's done very well with his new site, his Horizon site. The amount of information he puts out into the world and the amount of just, I don't even know what I'm saying. He has a huge fan base, but there's a good reason why. He's an incredible musician. We're just happy to be affiliated with him in any way, shape, or form. Ed does have flutes with him sometimes.
Right.
Because now Johnny has other people's flutes that he showcases on his site sometimes, and Ed has been a part of that and probably will be again, hopefully pretty soon. So that's another way for us to kind of get our creations out into the world.
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask you is, do you have your flutes in stores and in places like that?
Not in physical stores, just our store and Johnny's web store. We don't have any in any kind of physical brick and mortar stores, which is the thing we would like to do at some point, and we just haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's go back to Let's Sabbath. And do you guys have like music on Spotify or something like that? Or you maybe even thinking about doing an album?
No, probably not, because we're a cover band. So of
Right.
course you have all of those considerations when you do other people's music. Obviously, you have to get the royalties for that. But we're not going to do an album. I wanted to do an album with my last band. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like we were getting to the point where we were pretty good, and I was really, really enjoying the music we were writing. But we kind of fell apart as bands do sometimes. So,
Right.
but this one we're not. We're just playing in local stuff and having a great old time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well,
And
if
also just yeah, the things that we all do together in other arenas too, like Rocky Horror Picture Show, live production. Like my entire band is the musicians and that backing musicians for our stage show for that.
Mhm.
So that's a great time too. I had the I was thinking about it earlier today, Rocky Horror. That's one thing that Ed and I both do that we also get great joy from is being actors in that production because it's astounding.
Yeah.
And I get to play Riff Raff, which is kind of somebody that I could be who's not me. So I get to look kind of zombie-esque during that production as well, which is really fun for me.
Yeah. And do you have like a YouTube channel or a place where someone could go and listen and see and hear Let's Sabbath?
No, we don't. We haven't got that far yet. That may be something I would like to do at some point. We need to video some of
Hmm.
our shows because all we have now is just people's phone videos, which, as you know, are not great.
Yeah.
So if you see us online somewhere, it's just going to be that. So we're planning on trying to get some actual live recording done that looks and sounds good. So stay tuned for that. I'll post about that when we have that ready. But we do have a page on Instagram and Facebook, Let Sabbath.
Yeah.
So we'll post our events on there. And yeah, we're hoping to eventually have a channel or a website or something like that. Depends on what we decide to do with it all.
Well, you do post some things on, like you say, phone videos on Facebook. So someone could go there maybe and see. So you don't post anything through your Tree of Life website, though?
No, we don't post our music on there. Not our other stuff that we do.
Yeah.
I won't be on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to put a link to at least your Facebook below because some folks that watch this might want to friend you or see some of the things that you have that's public, on your website. And
Sure.
yeah, we will definitely try to link something. Are you also on Instagram?
I am. Yep. We have Tree of Life Designs on Instagram as well as my personal page, and our Let Sabbath page is on Instagram
Ah,
and Facebook as well. So you'll see all of our. I'll send you links that you can share with people if you want them.
yeah.
And why our flute business and incense business, as well as my band, we're on Facebook and Instagram. And my book, Sage Advice, I do want to say, will be out on November 1st in physical form.
Mhm.
It is available now for pre-order, so I can shoot you a link for that as well. Excuse
Perfect.
me, it's on Amazon
Yeah.
right now as a pre-order.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. And will you also be selling it through your store?
I will. Yes, I will actually be selling physical copies of my book on the store, and I've taken down the PDF, the old version of it. So there's going to be an ebook available as well if people want to purchase the ebook version of that. And my book will also be in bookstores everywhere you buy books.
Right.
So I do highly encourage people to go to bookstores, drive there and buy books and put them in your hot little hands and maybe not give your money to billionaires. There's another site that I'm actually going to have a page on as well called bookshop.org.
Uh-huh.
If anyone's familiar with Bookshop, my book will also be on Bookshop.
Okay. And if you or when you do have the physical copy, someone could contact you and maybe get get an autographed copy of it from you.
Absolutely. I would love to.
Yeah. Is there anything that we have not covered that you would like to talk about?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. We've covered so many things.
I know.
People are probably like, who is this person? She just does all these weird things. I don't know. I could probably think of stuff after we hang up, but I should have brought that up, blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's not weird if you're having fun.
Oh, we're having fun. Yeah, we just, I take opportunities when they come. If somebody throws something at me, I'll do it. I sang a song into my phone and made a recording that was published. I did a backup vocal for a song on my phone during COVID. I did something like that. That was a great time. Yeah, we filmed a horror movie, 18-minute long horror movie during COVID at the beach with two of our friends. And I got to play Hagatha, the cannibal sea witch. So we do funny things with our funny friends. And all I can say is I have the best community of friends in the world, local and virtual as well. And I'm just so very grateful for that.
Well, Dawn, I want to thank you for being a guest on my show. We've had a lot of fun with this one. And you are a fascinating person. You've done so much. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for having me on here. I've been catching up with your previous videos of all the illustrious folks you've had on. And I'm just, to be in some of these folks' company is it's humbling to me. So thank you. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. We'll see you next time on The J. Michael Show.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.